Good morning, Robby.
Good morning, Johnny. I surely appreciate you guys doing this. North Shore Broadcasting, the Hammond Greater Chamber, really appreciate their involvement in this, making sure that all the voters out there have a chance to hear us again. And I'd like to thank everyone who voted in the primary. It was a great night. We led the race with a pretty significant lead, and we're excited about it. 49.67%, or the endorsement of 14,819 folks. And it was just an exciting night. Our troops are ready, energized, and excited about bringing Tangipahoa Parish new, innovative leadership. And we believe that the people saw it, and we just have to finish it off on the 21st. And I'm glad to be here.
All right, we're going to first of all start off with the landfill issue. Our landfill has been big in the news lately, and communication to the public has been somewhat hazy. First of all, tell us your thoughts on the current landfill issue and how it will affect your administration. And B, how will you communicate with the public as it relates to the landfill?
Well, Johnny, it is an important issue to our parish, and I think the reason why you're not hearing too much about it is because it turned into a legal battle, and like most legal, whenever you bring in lawyers, the lawyers tell you to be quiet, and they start handling everything. DEQ has their lawyers, from what I understand, and the parish has theirs, and the parish council hired lawyers to take care of this, and so it's kind of there. I believe that our landfill is actually a major asset to our parish. We've done a great job with it over the years. This issue apparently was some paperwork, and whether we should have taken so many tires or not, shreds or not. And I guess we'll see it, and we will actually inherit it, whichever one of us wins this race. The idea of how we handle it, as far as communicating with the constituents of our parish, I want to have an open book. Matter of fact, about anything that we do, I talked about it a while back that Baton Rouge has a online digital system where that people can drill down to the inside the budget and see every line item and where the money goes and how it works. I'd like to bring that to Tangipahoa Parish. I'd like to make sure that all of the minutes of all the meetings, which are there, but all the packets that the councilmen get to know what they're getting ready to talk about at the council meetings, I'd like to have that online. I want people to know that it's their parish and that we're in this together, and that they have the opportunity to be able to see everything that we see to make good decisions.
All right, now many agree our parish needs a game-changing industry to jumpstart our economy and bring us to a better place. How will you raise the bar in our pursuit for a game changer? And name 3 industries that you would go after, and specifically how you would actually lure them here.
All right. Well, that's a very good question. And there's different schools of thought on that, whether it's a game changer or whether we build our small businesses. We know that small business is the backbone of America, and we've done a good job with that. In Hammond, we've brought in 800 new jobs over the last 5 years, $100 million worth of investment. It's made a major impact on Hammond. As far as how we do it, I've talked about this many times. There's 3 convention center cities that are close to us: the Gulf Coast, New Orleans, Baton Rouge. People come to those. We can be involved in those convention centers, make sure we go down there and know who's there before we go. Some of the industry, and invite them and get to know our parish, build relationships. Companies don't make decisions to move, people do, and we need to build relationships with those people. Our industries that are obviously with our interstates and our railroad, our port and our airport, the warehousing and distribution is big. But lately in our Hammond Economic Development meetings, we've been having more high tech with Southeastern's industrial technology, with their computer science program, with North Shore Technical College's technical schools that they're doing. We're bringing in a lot more high-tech, industrial high-tech, and programming and development. So it's a real great opportunity for us, and those are clean, great paying jobs, and they can generate a lot of dollars. And then lastly, of course, with our airport, there's actually 2 more. In our airport, we have huge aviation opportunities. Then you look at our agriculture and our opportunity for dairies and farmers and so forth on the north end, where California is suffering right now with drought. We can take on some of that load. And with Mike Strain talking about economic development in that agriculture arena, we can make sure that we help bring those people here and make sure Mike Strain helps us do that.
All right, our parish is growing quickly, and even without landing a game-changing industry, and a disproportionate amount of growth is on the south end, the north end of the parish's infrastructure needs are different from those on the south end, of course. And how will you address a land use plan, and be specific, and how will you identify and prioritize infrastructure projects?
Great question, Johnny. You know, these problems that we're dealing with today are not. They didn't happen yesterday. They didn't happen in the last 2 or 3, 4 years. These problems have been around for the last 16 years or so. And the folks who were in leadership then, including Mr. Burgess, has done a good job. That Mr. Burgess done a good job. The council hadn't done what they needed to about the different land use. The idea that our parish has issues on the south end, I think we can look at the opportunity of the south end maybe implementing some land use. We can also use the subdivision regulations and our planning commission to give them a little bit more teeth and a little bit more opportunity to be involved and bring. I think any project needs to have the fire department included, the police department included, roads and bridges included. It needs to be the full impact of a development to an area needs to be looked at before we just let them have it. We need to improve those and let those folks do it. If we can't do it with moving the south end toward land use management and move it forward north as it's necessary and as the people in those areas want it. But again, these are not brand new problems. These are problems that have been around for the last 10 or 12, 15 years, and that's why we need new leadership.
All right, moving on to roads and bridges now. The Road and Bridge Department is our parish's largest department with the largest budget. Do you feel this department is as efficient as it could be? And do you believe the parish could save money and be more efficient if we contracted out some of the department's current functions as other parishes do?
You're right, Johnny. That is the largest portion of the parish budget. It's about a $14 million a year budget. The majority of that is in the roads. Paving and so forth of roads. We also have to cut the ditches, make sure that the ditches along the road are taken care of and maintained for drainage. Every department has the opportunity to improve efficiencies, and that's what I do in my business every day is go in and help people figure out how to examine their processes, examine how they do things, figure out how to do it better, and that's what I'll do with the parish and every department. And the roads and bridges is one of those that we'll have to do that with it. Again, every other department will have to go through the same process. As far as contracting out, I don't believe there's any reason to do that. I think that we can improve our opportunities, our operations as we use them today, make them better, get our people with the right equipment, the right responsibility, the right authority, and we'll do a good job with it.
All right, economic development. Economic development will be key to our continued growth here in Tangipahoa Parish. And with regard to economic development, which policies and practices are currently serving us well? What will you do differently to enhance economic development policies and practices? And what do you see that could be improved?
Well, economic development, as you well know, I've been involved with Hammond for 15 years, and with that, we have to work with the parish. In the parish, there's several things that I think we can do better, and one of them is, like talked about, going to those convention cities and work with those folks and build relationships with the companies that are coming. I think we need to identify who is best to come here, who's suited here, who do we want to bring here, and I'll do that by getting our TDF board more involved and the business leaders here in town, the community leaders here in town, and talk about what we want Tangipahoa Parish to be, and then we'll develop that plan and go after those particular companies and so forth using those convention centers, because for the most part, every industry we want to talk to comes here to Louisiana, South Louisiana, because it's a great place to be. I think that in general, we play the game the way it's been played forever today. Economic development brings site selectors in. The companies don't want you to know who they are because it just changes their complexion of the game whenever they have their home cities wanting to keep them. Sometimes land, local people, the land prices may change depending on who it is, or don't want it here, don't want it there. There's a lot of things go into it whenever people know what company's coming. So the companies want to be confidential about it, and we have to keep it confidential, have an opportunity to get them. So we've had to play the game that way, but I believe that we have the opportunity, like I've talked about, working those convention cities, working those companies that are coming to build those relationships is a way for us to build economic development a little bit quicker and pick the people we want to come here, the companies we want to come here.
All right, in order to attract viable industry, our next question, our parish must have a workforce which is ready to fulfill industry needs. How would you interact with our education officials to ensure that we are providing our residents strong educational pathways from high school to technical community college to a university?
Johnny, that's an incredible question. It's an absolute huge game changer. That's the game changer is our education system. In our Hammond Economic Development role, we have worked with our education system, our public schools, to make sure, and in our private schools, to make sure that they understand how important the school system is to our economic development. It's the first or second question companies ask whenever they look at a community. Where will our people's children go to school? Where will we get our workforce? In Hammond, we have done, in the 15 years I was there, we've done 2 different programs with workforce development. We continue to work with the city. We continue to work with the state to try and help make sure that our workforce development is where it needs to be. It's not, and we need to work on it more. Personally, I've been involved with the schools everywhere I could to make sure kids understand how important it is to get their education. And I'm saying it now, if our children get their education, stick with it, and then go on to technical college or Southeastern, we will have the jobs here to get it, for them to take and to build their careers and to have their families and live and love Tangipahoa Parish like we do. The STEM program is huge. I'll do everything we can as the parish president to encourage and support the school system to bring STEM around, to build relationships, to continue and explore and expand the relationships between Southeastern and North Shore Technical College. But the education system is huge, and we need to make sure that it becomes top priority so that our companies have workforce, and people who decide to come here have workforce available to them.
All right. The pay-as-you-go issue. There has been much talk about the pay-as-you-go philosophy. Briefly explain your position on how to finance the increasing needs of Tangipahoa Parish.
Well, pay-as-you-go has been in place for 29 years because it was a must. We had to do it. And today we still have to do it, which I think is a good program, because our tax base is a 4-year tax revenue. And in order for the parish to borrow money, you have to be able to demonstrate you can pay it back. And whenever you only have a 4-year tax stream, which we will vote on in March to renew for 4 more years. So, that's one limitation of it. As far as the projects, if companies are coming here, you can always tie jobs to grants from the state and federal level. We did it with the airport tower. Hammond City did it with the mall whenever they did the road work in front of the mall, and tied it to major projects that include job and tax base increase. So we'll continue to do it that way. We'll work with our senators and reps from the federal level. We'll work with our state level to make sure that we continue to get those grants. Right now, the parish is in the process of widening Club Deluxe Road. It's been way overdue, but the state is working on that with us. South Hoover is in the middle right now. Is in the middle of the engineering is going on how to make it safer and figure out the engineering project on how it can be improved and widened and made safer with state funding. And state funding is ready to be allocated for the program to be put in place once we know the engineering plan. So there's plenty we can do and with our state and our federal connections, and we will do that.
All right, the parish jail. The need for a new or expanded parish jail has been a hot topic lately. What, in your opinion, is the biggest issue with our jail? And explain how your administration would be involved in reaching a solution which will be best serving the citizens of Tangipahoa Parish.
Johnny, thank you. That's a good question, too. The jail is an issue. I think there's been experts say that the size is fine. It's the condition of the jail. But I think the bigger issue, and I've asked this question, I've said it early on in the campaign, is we're having people in jail with mental issues, with addiction issues. Is it really a mental health and an addiction issue or problem as much as it is criminals? If those folks were being taken care of properly by the state, as should be taken care of, the state should be handling that part of the mental health and so forth, then we would have room in our jail, and also our costs would be a little bit lower to take care of those folks. Because the health care costs of the jail inmates would be lower, and we'd be able to invest that money into the jail in maintenance and improving the actual physical facilities. I think that there's probably close to enough money to make it happen. I don't see where there's any need to increase any revenue for it. I think that we can, between the parish and the sheriff, we can do it state mandated, and then we'll sit down as elected officials and do what's best for Tangipahoa Parish. Our people expect us to be fiscally responsible, and we're going to do that.
All right, if elected, when can the residents of Tangipahoa Parish expect to feel the impact of your new administration? In other words, how long will it take for us to realize you're making a difference, and what will that difference look like?
Well, I think that can almost be immediately, because our parish is in need of great leadership, of innovative, excited leadership about our parish. I started this campaign with, I love Tangipahoa Parish, I'm going to work hard every day, and I'm going to do the right thing. And I've changed it. On election night, I changed it to, we love Tangipahoa Parish, we're going to work hard every day, and we're going to do the right thing. So everybody in the parish is going to be affected. The chief executive officer of Tangipahoa Parish, the parish president, is the leadership, the direction, the attitude of the parish. And I think our attitude in our parish is not where it needs to be, but it starts at the top. And our parish has great opportunity. It's sitting on the verge of explosion of great things. And I don't mean necessarily with a lot of growth inside coming to us, but it is from within. We have greatness within that we need to be excited about and make sure that the people of the parish know about it and build our pride and so forth from what we have to offer. We are an incredible parish, and we need to just start saying it.
All right, now some perceive that this race has a negative tone and that some of the issues have been lost in the battle to win the race. What do you think about the tone of the campaign in general, and has your campaign done anything that could be construed as negative?
Well, Johnny, unfortunately, there has been some folks seem to think that, and I believe that what we've done is made facts known about our records, facts known in our profession or in our elected offices. And the facts are there. They are what they are. The idea that I'm a tell it like it is, straight guy, straight shooter. I'm not going to tell you what you just want to hear to get a vote. I'm going to tell you what I know I can do, what I believe I can do, and what I know the facts are. If I don't know them, I'll get them for you. I'm not a storyteller. I'm going to shoot it like it is. When we start twisting the facts and start trying to make them work our way, we make it tough for the people to understand who the trust is. And I can tell you that in my career, I've had our church, our school, our university, our city with 3 different mayors, countless businesses, the current sheriff, the current assessor, 911 board trust me to help run their business. They trust me to be on their boards. They've trusted me to do the right thing. And I'm going to do that for the parish. I'm going to do it if in your business, if you had to leave your business for 6 months or 4 years, who do you want running your business? Do you want somebody that all these other people have trusted, all these other people have counted on, where I've done a great job, or not? And that's the real question, because the business leader of Tangipahoa Parish is the parish president. And I've got a track record with people who've known me, who've worked with me, and they want me to be there. And I'm asking everybody on November 21st to vote for me.
All right, so it leads us right into tell us why you, as parish president, and what makes you more able than your opponent.
Well, that's a great question. I think I just went over it, and I don't mind doing it again. We've got the idea is that our parish is looking for a new chief executive officer, a new business leader, the man who's run the business of the parish, who's going to run the business. And I've done that in my business. I've managed a multi-million-dollar budget with well over 100 employees, diverse opportunities all over the southeast of Louisiana whenever we're doing that. Today, I help multiple boards. I help multiple agencies of the parish, multiple businesses. And in order to do that, I have to go in and I have to know what they do, how they do it, the intricacies, the inside of how everything operates, so that I can make them better. So I can use my technology skills to improve their operations, and then help with all that. I improve attitude and their morale, and make them feel better about their jobs, have better information. It's just a great fit for what I do today. The parish, at the sheriff's office, we went from nothing being digital to the whole system being digital, all the way to notebooks in the cars. Everywhere is all digital information now. 911, we took them to a digital CAD system, so all the calls are now online. I mean, to the CAD operators. We did Smart 911. I mean, there's things over and over that I've done to help people improve their lives, improve the efficiencies, save money for the parish. And again, our church, our school, our university, 3 city mayors, multiple boards trust Robby Miller to run their business, and I'm asking the people of Tangipahoa Parish to do the same.
All right, any other closing statements before you head out?
Well, early voting starts Saturday. this Saturday. You can vote this Saturday through next Saturday, and then Election Day is November 21st. I really appreciate everybody that went out and worked hard for this campaign. I've got a great team that's been positive, been on the mark, making sure we stay focused on what we want to do. The facts and the story that we're telling is how great Tangipahoa Parish can be, and I'm excited to bring us to be the best in the state. And on November 21st, I'll be proud to be your parish president.
All right. Thank you, Robby Miller. And the number on the ballot again?
Number 73.
73. Robby Miller, our first candidate for Conversations with the Candidates here on Tangi 96.5.